Today is May 23rd. Welcome to Big Book Daily. My name is Rob. I am an alcoholic. It's a thrill, honor, and joy to be here with you today as we journey through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions. Today, out of the Big Book, we are having a shorter reading session. As a matter of fact, according to this, we will not be reading personal stories today because I think there's a big old gap between part 2 and part 3, a couple of empty pages, so we're just going to be reading out of the core text, chapter 6, in action, pages 78 and 79. And out of the 12 steps and 12 traditions, we're going to begin tradition number 5 by reading page 150. So with that, hope you all are doing well today. Hey, we've been given a brand new set of 24 hours, and it's up to us who we decide to be today. So with that, let's go ahead and get to the good stuff. So if you recall from yesterday's reading in the Big Book, we had a lot of steps on pages 76 and 77. We covered step 6, step 7, step 8, and finally we are now talking about step 9. And yesterday we talked about sweeping our own side of the street. Kind of goes with the serenity prayer. We really can't change other people. All we can really do is change the way we respond and the way we are going to respond in the future. That's the only thing we really have power over. And it's a choice. So on the last paragraph said on page 77, under no condition do we criticize such a person or argue. Simply we tell them that we will never get over drinking until we have done our utmost to straighten out the past. We are there to sweep off our side of the street, realizing that nothing worthwhile can be accomplished until we do so. Never trying to tell him what he should do. So with that, my friends, we're going to read 78 and 79. In 9 cases out of 10, the unexpected happens. Sometimes the man we are calling upon admits his own fault. So feuds of years standing melt away in an hour. Rarely do we fail to make satisfactory progress. Our former enemies sometimes praise what we are doing and wish us well. Occasionally they may offer assistance. It should not matter, however, if someone does throw us out of his office. We have made our demonstration and done our part. It's water over the dam. Most alcoholics owe money. We do not dodge our creditors. Telling them what we are trying to do, we make no bones about our drinking. They usually know it anyway, whether we think so or not. Nor are we afraid of disclosing our alcoholism on the theory that it may cause financial harm. Approached in this way, the most ruthless creditor will sometimes surprise us. Arranging the best deal that we can, we let these people know that we're sorry. Our drinking has made us slow to pay. We must lose our fear of creditors, no matter how far we have to go, for we are liable to drink if we are afraid to face them. Perhaps we have committed a criminal offense which might land us in jail if it were known to the authorities. We may be short in our accounts and unable to make good. We've already admitted this in confidence to another person, but we are sure that we would be imprisoned or lose our job if it were known. Maybe it's only a petty offense, such as petting the expense account. Most of us have done that sort of thing. Maybe we are divorced and have remarried but haven't kept up the alimony to number 1. She is indignant about this and has a warrant out for our arrest. That's a common form of trouble too. Although these reparations take innumerable forms, there are some general principles which we find guiding. Reminding ourselves that we have decided to go to any lengths to find a spiritual experience, we ask that we be given strength and direction to do the right thing, no matter what the personal consequences may be. We may lose our position or reputation or face jail, but we are willing. We have to be. We must not shrink at anything. Usually, however, other people are involved. Therefore, we are not to be the hasty and foolish martyr who would needlessly sacrifice others to save himself from the alcoholic pit. A man we know had remarried. Because of resentment and drinking, he had not paid all his alimony to his first wife. She was furious. She went to court and got an order for his arrest. He'd commenced our way of life, had secured a position, and was getting his head above water. It would have been impressive heroics if he had walked up to the judge and said, "Here I am." We thought he ought to be willing to do that if necessary, but if he were in jail, he could provide nothing for either family. We suggested that he write his first wife admitting his faults and asking for forgiveness. He did, and also he sent a small amount of money. He told her what he would try to do in the future. He said he was perfectly willing to go to jail if she insisted. Of course, she did not. The whole situation has long since been adjusted. All right, some great stuff here. We're going to jump right into 12 and 12. We are now on tradition number 5, page 150. It's each group has but one primary purpose, to carry its message to the alcoholic who still suffers. And again, we are reading page 150 today. Shoemaker, stick to thy last. Better do one thing supremely well than many badly. That is the central theme of this tradition. Around it, our society gathers in unity. The very life of our fellowship requires the preservation of this principle. Alcoholics Anonymous can be likened to a group of physicians who might find a cure for cancer, and upon whose concerted work would depend the answer for sufferers of this disease. True, each physician in such a group might have his own specialty. Every doctor concerned would at times wish that he could devote himself to his chosen field rather than work only with the group. But once these men had hit upon a cure, once it became apparent that only by their united effort could this be accomplished, then all of them would feel bound to devote themselves solely to the relief of cancer. In the radiance of such a miraculous discovery, any doctor would set his other ambitions aside, at whatever the personal cost. Just as firmly bound by an obligation are the members of Alcoholics Anonymous, who have demonstrated that they can help problem drinkers as others seldom can. The unique ability of each AA to identify himself with and being in recovery to the newcomer in no way depends upon his learning, eloquence, or on any special individual skills. The only thing that matters is that he is an alcoholic who has found a key to sobriety. These legacies of suffering and of recovery are easily passed among alcoholics, one to the other. This is our gift from God, and its bestowal upon others like us is the one aim that today animates AAs all around the globe. All right, my friends, so I love this part, especially the line right here. The unique ability of each AA to identify himself with and bring recovery to the newcomer in no way depends upon his learning, eloquence, or on any other special individual skills. All we have to do is carry the message. I know for me, I've been guilty of getting really emotionally involved when I would work with others, and then they would go back out. I would blame myself to some extent. I'm like, what did I do wrong here? Was I too soft? Was I too hard on this person? Or, whatever it was, I'd start questioning myself. Did I not explain things well enough when we were going through the big book? Or whatever. But somebody brought it to my attention. Rob, all you have to do is carry the message. They still have a choice to make, and they've got to want it. It's not your fault. Just be available to them when they're ready. And that helped me a lot. I don't have to be, right, as this 151 says, I don't have to worry about my learning, my eloquence, or any special skills that I have. I just have to carry the message. Try to help somebody out there. Hence what I'm trying to do today, which in turn helps me. Go figure. AA is full of paradoxes. But going back to the big book real fast, making these amends, there are so many different scenarios that, the big book talks about a few, but there are so many different scenarios where we might not necessarily be sure what to do. But I think the crux of what we're getting at here is we're trying to make it right. We're not shirking responsibilities. We seek our spiritual advisor, whoever that might be, our sponsor, and we're trying to make this right. Most often we might make direct amends, but there might be some times we have to make indirect amends. Right here, yeah, on 79. Therefore, we are not to be hasty and foolish martyr who would needlessly sacrifice others to save himself from the alcoholic pit. If we make these direct amends and maybe somebody doesn't know about some of the things that we had done, is it going to make it better by admitting them now? Or should we make these indirect amends and try to do the right thing from now on to make sure that never happens again? Because is it necessary to hurt a lot of people when a lot of people are involved that are completely naive to what happened? That's why we need that second opinion. I love this part right here. So we make these amends, whether direct or indirect, and hey, sometimes most of the time people will appreciate it. But what happens when you still get thrown out? Well, that's okay. You've done your part. We've cleaned our side of the street. It should not matter, however, if someone does throw us out of his office. We have made our demonstration and done our part. It's water over the dam. It goes back once again to the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Courage to change the things I can, that's me. And the wisdom to know the difference. To know, hey, there's a lot I can't change. But one thing I can do is change me. Or rather, I can rely on my higher power to change me and do my part. So my friends, if you are sober today, you are a miracle. And those who love you are very proud of you. Thank you for joining me in this Lifeboat of Recovery today. We'll get back to the personal stories tomorrow. And again, if we are given a brand new set of 24 hours, I do look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow.